Welcome to Cooking with Chris. Today what I thought I'd do is share a simple recipe that's so double D. That is delicious and delightful. Something so simple you could do, just plop it in the crock pot, add in the secret sauce, just wait for the secret sauce, and then what we're going to do is we're going to shred it up and put it on a little bun, but a special bun. Just wait towards the end of this video here, and trust me, this is amazing. So first thing first is that we're going to make sure that we have a sharp knife. And I'll do a video on how to sharpen knives for those of you that want to learn. Because it is a craft, it definitely is a skill. When I was a butcher for 21 years, there's many butchers that I worked with that didn't even know how to sharpen a knife, and that's very dangerous. Okay, so what we're using here is we're utilizing, we call this some people refer to it as a pork shoulder. I call it a sirloin tip. And this is a very nice lean piece of meat. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to actually just, the reason why I'm sharpening my knife is I'm going to just take off some of this excess fat. Now if you want to keep the fat on because you like things extra tasty, then go ahead, leave that fat on. Okay, so I'm just taking off the excess fat. Now what's nice about a sirloin tip as opposed to a pork butt or a pork shoulder, which is quite delicious too, which by the way is where pork country style ribs come from, either bone in or bone out, depending on if you have a saw or not. So pork country style ribs or pork shoulder ribs are actually the pork butt, but what's really confusing is it's not the butt, it's actually the shoulder of the pig. It's not the butt. But there's a lot of fat in the shoulder, so this is a sirloin tip. So for those of you that are meat eaters, you're going to love this recipe because it's very simple to do. And I like simplistic, so this is about a 2.5 pound roast here, and what's going to happen is that it's going to feed us for the next few days. So if you have a family, you know, and you just want to do something that's very simple, that's going to last, so, you know, if you're working, etc., then we just want to make sure that we keep life simple, and the way we keep life simple is thinking ahead and pre-planning. The other good thing about pre-planning and cooking ahead is that it keeps us from eating fast food and junk food, all right? Now, I'm not saying that this, by the time I put the sauce on and stuff, yes, there is some calories with this, but this is lean pork. You could always use any kind of sauce, barbecue sauce, whatever, but there's a special secret sauce that we're going to put in here towards the very end. Okay, so I'm not going to go too crazy here. Oops, that's a good piece of meat. I'm not going to throw that away. All right, so I have my crock pot here, and I'm setting on low. Now, as you can see here, this crock pot has had a lot of love, a lot of loving been cooking in the oven. Trust me. All right.
If this crock pot could talk,
If this crock pot could talk, shh.
What would it say?
What would it say? What's been roasting inside my oven? Okay.
Some buns. Some butt and some buns.
Right. Whenever you cook a roast like this, where there's less fat marbling in it, number one, you have to slow cook it. And I a lot of times like to do a moist heat, kind of like a little braise. So what I'm using first before I stick in my secret sauces, I'm using a little bit of this Yoshida's original gourmet sweet and savory sauce. It is going to be sweet and savory because it's going to slow cook. That the moisture is going to help keep the meat moist as it slow cooks, and because we're going to put the lid on, it's going to circulate the moisture around the meat, which helps to keep the meat nice and tender and juicy. Okay, so I want enough to cover the bottom. I'm not going to go crazy here, though. You can go as crazy as you want.
Crazy with sauce.
Yep. As who's my favorite artist? Oh, as Bob Ross has said. What does he say? He says something like,
No accident, no mistakes, only happy accidents.
Yeah, Bob Ross always says, no mistakes, only happy accidents. So you put as much sauce and make it your happy accident. Okay. All right, so we're going to just stick this bad boy in there. Now this is going to be tasty. You're going to throw that in there. And now if you wanted to, I just decided to do this video last minute. Something else would be very tasty too is put some fresh rosemary, maybe some bay leaves, some dill on there, especially with the pork. It adds some good flavor to it. But I'm keeping it pretty simple because I want to keep this recipe for the on-the-go parents like ourselves. All right. So, got it on low. Going to set the timer for about 4 hours and come back and check it out, and we'll see how it tastes. Chia! Okay, welcome back with Cooking with Chris. So this little sirloin tip roast actually took, or pork sirloin tip roast actually took about a half hour longer. And about half hour to 40 minutes ago, actually I turned it off to let it slow cook. So let the heat, the natural heat within the crock pot and the roast itself to continue to cook itself without overcooking it. So this thing's going to be pretty toasty. I'm just going to reach right in here. And I'm going to we're going to try to slice as much as possible. But I may have to come back and once it cools down. So if you notice here, you want to go against the grain, okay? Now this would be a good time to take off any excess fat like this. This is going to be
Lulu's
great
gonna
for,
love that.
yeah, Lulu's going to love this. Okay, so you see the grain is going this way. Going this way. I don't know if everybody sees that. Can you see that, Mom? Okay, so I'm going to go against it. And I want to make it fine. Fine as wine. Wine to dine. We love cooking till the end of time.
She heard her name. We love cooking till the end of time.
All right, so see, this is actually done really nicely. So this would have been a nice sirloin tip roast. You could have made an apricot glaze with dill and rosemary to put over the top.
Remember, this is for parents on the go.
Parents on the go. So this is nice and easy.
Okay.
Okay.
Smells delightful.
Smells good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that little sauce that we use to braise it with, it's pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. All right, so we're going to move that to the side. Some nice gentle cuts there. Okay, so we're going to go against the grain. Okay.
It always goes against the grain.
Yeah, you know, I think it's part of my wood typology to go against the grain. All right, so.
Wow. Notice how your slices are so symmetrical.
Yeah, and the key is, once again, to have sharp knives and also to keep your blade straight up and down. One of the challenges I had as an apprentice is the gentleman who taught me how to cut meat 30 years ago, or even longer than that, while low, would have me hand knife with a big knife that I was using actually earlier today to cut off the fat. And I would have to knife a full cut round steak, which is the leg of the animal, and it'd have to be the same thickness from top to bottom. Now that's challenging to do. Challenging to do. So fine motor skills.
Did you succeed?
Of course. Lots of practice though.
You were dreaming about dead cows.
I tried not to. Poor critters.
This meat is blessed.
Yeah, we're blessing this meat. So again, I would get grass-fed, organic. Make sure to check the background on where the meat comes from. Make sure it is as clean as possible. That's going to be key to making sure that, you know, that energy that you're sticking in your body is as wholesome as possible. So I'm going to come back to this because I want to shred it up. Right now it's too hot. Too hot for these little digits that I have here. So we're going to wait about 10 minutes, let it cool down, and then I'll be back with the secret surprise that we're going to place it on.
Ooh.
I haven't even began to dice this up yet, but I
just,
want you
did a little sneaker test.
a little sneak test.
Wow. So,
How's that flavor?
so good.
You know what it makes me say? Cluck yeah! Ba-ba! Okay,
We're back.
all right, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shred this up and into as small little pieces as possible. Whatever I can't shred up, then what's going to happen is that I'm going to go ahead and slice with a knife, but this should shred pretty easily. So
You do like to get your hands in there.
you know, if you've been watching any of my videos, you see I like to get my hands dirty. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. Okay.
Oh, you put it back in?
Oh, I'm putting it back in. So what I was marinating in, I dumped out some of the sauce, but I want some of that flavor still. So I'm all about the flavor. What's going to make it taste good, right? So again, you could use any marinade you want. You don't even, the marinade that I used earlier to start this off, you don't have to start off with that. If you want, you can put a little bit of water, about a 1/4 inch of water in the bottom of the crock pot. And that's just my own preference. Some people may not put any liquid in the bottom, but I like that moisture of the meat, and I want it to fall apart. And as Parisa tried, it tastes pretty tasty, right?
It was delicious.
Yeah.
And delightful. Someone else wants to try some.
Oh, Lulu. Oh, Lulu. We have a little piece for Lulu. Oh, look at this. Oh, boy. Sit. And what? Speak to me. What? Gotta speak. Shake. Oh, that's
She got a little camera shy.
Okay, here you go.
She's
Good
camera
girl.
shy.
Good girl.
Just getting on in there.
And like I said, you could use a knife if you wanted to, if you didn't want to get your hands dirty. Make sure to clean your knife and stuff. Make sure that your hands are clean because of cross-contamination. We got to watch out for that.
What is cross-contamination?
Well, a lot of times it happens when food-borne bacteria start to form on the meat or the sauce or whatever, the cutting board. So if you notice, like we made a salad back here, Parisa made us a beautiful salad, and we use a different knife, we use a different cutting board as to not to cross-contaminate the raw with the cooked. So it's really, really important. And we have a saying that life begins at 40 for bacteria. So anything above 40 degrees, guess what? Bacteria starts to grow, so be careful.
Ah.
Okay, we're back. So if you look in here, if you zoom into here, please, you'll see that we shredded up the meat. You could dice it up even smaller if you want. If I didn't use my hands, if I used the knife, it would, trust me, it would have been in much, much smaller pieces. I'm pretty precise with the knife. All right, so I promised you 2 secret recipes that are so simple to add more flavor to this dish. May not be the healthiest as far as, fat content, carb content, but this is for when you're on the go and you want something delicious, your family will love you for, and it beats Sloppy Joe's almost any day. I'm a big Sloppy Joe fan too. Okay, number 1 here is Meng Thomas all-purpose sauce. I guarantee you this stuff will blow your socks off. Now for me, I've only found it at Asian markets, so what I love about it too is only like, I think $1.69 for the bottle. But I can't find it anywhere else. Sprouts, Whole Foods, anywhere else. Asian markets. This is the secret sauce right here. We're going to blend in here in a second. The other ingredient here is from Whole Foods. Pretzel buns. Oh my God. I love buns, but especially pretzel buns. Now, this is going to add so much flavor. Now, you could use a whole bun if you want to, but me and Priest are kind of trying to sort of watch our calorie count.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of, wink, wink, wink. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to go ahead and toast these, not too much. I don't want them toasted way too much like a bagel. So I'm going to do a light toast on those. So they're nice and soft. You don't have to toast them, but...
like a little added toast.
Yeah, so I'm going to set those aside. Okay.
Before you put it on the buns, you have to...
Oh yeah, so this is the stuff right here.
Got it.
Oh, this stuff is coming out great. Oh yeah. Don't mind the sound effects. That's just your digestion already kicking in, thinking, wow, this stuff is amazing.
Wait, hold on, let's hear it. Oh, there it goes.
Okay, there it goes.
Maybe not.
Okay. So, Meng Thomas all-purpose sauce. Amazing. Trust me. Especially on pork dishes, pulled pork, amazing, amazing. So we're going to mix this all together, and I'm mixing in the sauce from the bottom. Remember, I left a little bit of there because there's a little bit of fat in there still. And like I said, this is a really lean roast in comparison to a pork butt, what is referred to as a pork butt. If you want more fat, then go with the pork butt. But I do love the sirloin tip roast or the pork sirloin roast because they are leaner. The muscle group is denser. And by the way, you always rule of thumb, any muscle group of the animal where the animal is walking, front legs, shoulders, back legs, glutes and stuff, those muscle groups have to be cooked slower in general. So, for example, London broil, you tend to want to maybe broil it at first just to sear in the juices, then slow cook it for the best results. If you broil that bad boy all the way through, you might as well just chew on your shoe. So, any muscle group where the animal doesn't use that much tends to be tougher, and you have to change your cooking methodology. Now, parts of the animal, let's say like the filet mignon, for example, that's more internal, and the animal doesn't see, well, let's put it this way. You don't see too many cows on pastures doing crunches, and so that's why that filet mignon is so juicy and tender. Okay, the other thing too is cooking methodology. If you know, for example, and you are eating meat, and you know that you tend to run dry, then a moist cooking method like this, boiling, braising, sauteing is what you want. So if you have night sweats, and by the way, pork is really good for people with yin deficiencies. Obviously not in excess, so if you have night sweats, you're going through the change or whatnot, you're recovered from some kind of illness and you're having night terrors, then pork could be, if you eat meat that is, this could be a remedy to help to slowly offset the yin deficiency. But also too, the cooking style. So with yin deficiencies, night sweats, those kinds of things, we do not want to bake, we do not want to barbecue, and we do not want to broil. So we want to keep things moist. We want to add more moisture, more yin to our body, okay? So we're going to serve this up and see how it looks. Okay, so I'm just going to pour some of that on here like so. Now again, you could use both sides of the bun if you want to, if you really want that added flavor of the pretzel bun. So if you like pretzels, wait till you try these pretzel buns.
Soft. It's like a soft pretzel bun.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ooh.
So here's Mama P's. Now we're going to get Papa C's. Papa C in the house.
C-Rod in the house.
Yes, because most people don't know this, but my real last name is actually, are you ready for this? Rodriguez. Yeah,
What are
it's
you?
serious.
Your real last name?
My authentic biological from my father's side is Rodriguez.
Mm.
So if anybody could guess how my last name changed, please comment in the link below.
Yeah, you get a gold star if you can guess that one.
Right. Trust me, it's a doozy. Okay, so there you have it. So we have our pretzel
I'm
bread,
so excited.
our shredded pork. It's not completely shredded. I could have shredded it more, but for time's sake, I just kind of just peeled it away and chopped it up as much as I could with my hands. The salad, if you're wondering about the salad, there is a little bit of arugula on the bottom, and then we do have chia seeds, fresh tomatoes, fresh strawberries, artichokes. What else do we have? We have dried blueberries, we have pine nuts, and also we have one more thing, goji berries. Goji berries. And honestly, for me, because I think I'm part Persian, maybe it's because of my wife, I did put a little bit of feta in mine, from the Persian market, some fresh feta from the Persian market. So there you go, there you have it. So
Nusha John.
Nusha John. Uh-huh.
I'm so excited. It smells delightful. Okay, I'm going to start on the bun. Hold on.
Lost for words.
Definitely going to need a napkin with this meal.
Wow. How's the flavor?
Succulent. Creamy. Juicy. So good.
Is it tasty? Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So
wow. Let
there
me try
you go.
the salad real
Okay.
quick.
Now she put a little bit of sesame sauce on her salad.
Wow.
That should be pretty succulent as well with the goji berries. So a little combination of something crunchy kind of with the goji berries, the pine nuts, right? And then softer with the palate with the strawberries.
It's like a flavor explosion.
There you go.
Thank you, my love. Lucky me.
Lucky me.
Lucky me.
Once again, thank you for joining me. I'm signing off. This is Chris Shelton with Cooking with Chris from a beautiful day in sunny San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley. May you be well, eat well, and enjoy life to its fullest. I will see you later.